Well, the fate of former State Senate Majority Leader Joe Bruno is now in the hands of the jury. Closing arguments wrapped up today in the former lawmaker's second federal corruption trial, and Matt Markham has been covering the case for us. Matt's live tonight outside the courthouse in Albany, and Matt, probably a fascinating day there in court today.
Oh, without a doubt, Liz, and it all comes down to this. It'll come down to tomorrow, perhaps, too, because the jury has gone home. There is no verdict yet, but a lot of tension you could feel in the courtroom today, and even during defense closing arguments, a little sign that Joe Bruno might have been crying or perhaps debating what could happen at the end of this trial.
They are strong words for the jury to consider, among the last it hears before deliberating the fate of Senator Bruno. Disgusting, outrageous, unacceptable, illegal. Assistant U.S. Attorney Elizabeth Coombe claims the defendant disguised bribes as consulting agreements. Defense lawyer Stewart Jones calls the government's case one of monstrous deceptions, only out for Senator Bruno's scalp.
I'm very proud of my public service, 32 years in public service. I think the people benefited from my public service.
Prosecutors allege Bruno's arrangement with businessman Jared Abbruzzese didn't return any work or proof for it. They say the senator was on call as a consultant solely to return grant money for Abbruzese's business interests and for influence on the board of the New York Racing Association. The senator appointed one of Abbruzese's business partners to that board at a time Abbruzzese wanted to privatize the franchise, said prosecutors. The defense retorted that Bruno aimed to protect racing and the economics around it at a time NYRA was in great financial and legal trouble. The U.S. Attorney's Office claimed the senator hid his connections to Abbruzzese and after the consulting agreement ended, concealed a final debt with the sale of a worthless horse. It offered a timeline in an effort to prove his guilt. The defense told the jury that the timeline was benign. Neither it, nor evidence, nor witness testimony proved anything but the government's efforts to steamroll Senator Bruno.
I'm just placing my trust, my faith in the good Lord, because I've always had a lot of faith, a lot of people out there supporting me, praying for me, and I am confident that the jury will do the right thing and this ordeal will be over in my life.
I hope you can see this with the cars going by, but right now there's Senator Bruno walking out of the courthouse now. You can see other members of the news media waiting to speak to him about his general thoughts after the first day of jury deliberations and closing arguments. There is no gag order specifically on the senator. He is allowed to share general thoughts with the media. There was a little bit of confusion about that in the beginning. He can speak to the media. He doesn't speak specifically about the trial, but he has a shorter trial day, so long as he does not abuse that, according to the judge, he is able to make some general comments, as you see him doing right now. Also sitting with us in the courtroom to hear testimony is our legal expert, Paul Darrenesian. Paul, a very important day in terms of closing statements here, and I'm always fascinated to see Elizabeth Coombe from the U.S. Attorney's Office and Stewart Jones together. Very different styles. Could you explain them and any impact that might have, their style of speaking on the jury?
We saw two very excellent attorneys, accomplished attorneys. Beth Coombe for the prosecution was very organized and very disciplined, trying to piece together the facts in this case, and I think that's very important. And that disciplined, organized approach she took, I think, served the prosecution very well. On the other side, you have one of the most emotional orators in the community, Stewart Jones, well known for his skills in summation, focusing on emotion. His speech, his summation, more emotion-oriented, going to the point of even not only talking about the deeds of Senator Bruno, but saying that the government was maniacal in their interest in going after Joe Bruno.
And Mr. Jones is actually walking across the street right now. Dave, I don't know if you can see him, but he's walking across the street now. Paul will be back tomorrow. Mr. Jones, Mr. Dreyer, the other attorney, will be all back here tomorrow. And of course, we'll have the update for you as jury deliberations go into a second day, the first full day. That would be tomorrow. Reporting live at Federal Court in Albany now, Matt Markham, CBS 6 News.